Welcome back, Endgame community. I'm Pierre, he's Chris. We're here to talk about wide receivers that you have to start for week 14. Now, before we dive into our list of players, let's go over the guys who are matchup proof every week, must start. Cooper Kupp, Justin Jefferson, Davante Adams, CeeDee Lamb, Deontay Johnson, Tyreek Hill, Stephon Diggs, and Keenan Allen, assuming he clears COVID protocol this week. All right, now let's dig into the wide receivers that are always fantasy relevant, but not a sure thing. We'll tell you how we feel about them based on their matchup. Let's start with Dallas Cowboys. Finally got their full complement of receivers back. We know we like CeeDee Lamb. What about Amari Cooper going against the football team?
Yeah, I think he's back to a must start. He played very limited snaps last week coming off of COVID, but when he was out there, we saw that big playability that he has. Look, I know the football team defense has been better, but Derek Carr missed a lot of wide open guys on Sunday. Dak won't miss them. I like Amari Cooper this week, must start.
I'm going to go ahead and say maybe because we know receivers have had success against Washington, but it's true. They've been a lot better on defense lately. But here's the thing, little sneak preview of our bust video. I don't expect a great offensive game from Dak or the Cowboys, so I'm going to say Cooper is a maybe, a risky start here for me. And I kind of feel the same way about Gallup. Like, I don't think that having Cooper back, it's going to hurt him. Gallup can still be productive as a third receiver, but I don't think it's a sure thing in this matchup.
Yeah, Gallup definitely not a must start. He's an okay start if you need him, but not a must start.
All right, and for me, just say not a must start at all. Brandon Cooks, love the guy and his potential. Davis Mills at quarterback again, that's a hard pass for me.
Yeah, we've seen this already, must sit.
All right, now Minnesota might be without Adam Thielen because sprained ankle suffered this past week. I mean, you know Jefferson's just going to feast again, but what about KJ Osborne? He becomes interesting.
Yeah, I think I'm not going to put him quite in must-start territory, but I think he's a very good start this week. He should slot in as a number 2 wide receiver, and it is a good matchup, so good start this week.
Exactly. I feel the exact same way. A good start. You can't go out and say absolutely must, but he's in a good spot, so a strong start. All right, Mike Evans. He's a guy who most weeks you want to keep in there, but going against the top defense in the league, and that is Buffalo, even without Tre'Davious White, still a great pass defense. Does that worry you for Evans?
It does, because these are the kind of matchups where Mike Evans disappears. I'm going to have Mike Evans as a must-sit.
Must-sit, wow. I'd say maybe. I mean, you know, he's always got that touchdown potential. It's hard for me to say he's a must-sit. Some weeks it is, but I'll say he's a maybe for me. Godwin, I definitely don't feel is a must-sit because, I mean, you saw we did even without a touchdown last week, 30 fantasy points in PPR leagues. I mean, Godwin is a guy who is, to me, almost every week must start.
Yeah, I'm not quite there with Godwin as an every week must start. I'm not going to have him as a must sit in this matchup. I do think he'll be okay. I think he's an okay start, but I think this is one of those weeks where I don't have him as a must start.
Fair enough. All right, Elijah Moore, the rookie. I'd love to just say absolutely must start every week. Going against New Orleans, how does that make you feel about him?
I think he's pretty close to a must start every week. Also, Corey Davis having core muscle surgery, so I think if you got Elijah Moore, you got to roll with him.
Agree. I'm going to go ahead and say, can't say every week because it's the Jets, but yeah, Elijah Moore, gotta love what he's doing. So yes, this week, got to start. All right, let's talk about the Bears. Not much of a pass game to talk about, but Darnell Mooney has had some moments. Will he have any relevance against Green Bay in week 14?
Definitely not a must start. I think he's an okay start, again, if Allen Robinson sits, because at least he's getting the targets, but not a must start.
Yeah, not at all. I mean, it's got to be a big play downfield he hits on. I just don't see it happening in this game. So to me, no, I'm going to sit Darnell Mooney. All right, Mike Williams bounced back with a big game in week 13. Can he do it again in week 14?
I mean, if Keenan Allen is out, absolutely, because somebody's got to catch all those passes. It's the Giants, not the best matchup, but not the worst matchup. So I'm going to say must start.
I'm going to say must start too, even if Keenan Allen is cleared to play. I mean, the Giants, you know, on paper, it's just middle of the road pass defense, but this team is going to be struggling with their third string quarterback. I think there's going to be plenty of opportunity for the Chargers offense. So yes, plug Michael Williams in. Jamar Chase hasn't been making those big plays downfield. We've seen his fantasy value take a nosedive, but he's always got the potential for a big play. So what do you do with him in week 14?
I'm going to say he's an okay start. The Niners do have a really tough secondary, but they did lose their corner Mosley to injury, so it's not as bad as it could be. And he does always have the upside for a touchdown or a big play. So not a must start, but an okay start.
Yeah, look, I had him as a bust last week and kind of came true. He hasn't been doing what he was in the early part of the season because defenses figured it out, right? You take away that deep threat. So against this tough San Francisco defense, very tough against receivers all year, I'm going to say no again. I'm going to pass on Chase. I don't really feel good about Burrow this week, so can't feel good about Chase. T. Higgins, a little different story. He's getting so many targets, and he's getting those downfield shots now instead. So I kind of like T. Higgins. I don't love him, but I think you can start him.
Yeah, I don't love the matchup, but I think at this point, T. Higgins is a must start because, like you said, he's getting the targets, he's getting the end zone, red zone look. So I think he is a must start.
All right, now let's talk about the Rams. So Van Jefferson finding the end zone on a semi-regular basis. Can he do it again against Arizona?
I don't know if he can find the end zone again, but I don't think he needs to. I'm not going to say must start, but I think he's a very good start this week. Should be a high-scoring, up-and-down type of game, and he's still running more routes than Odell Beckham, so I'm going to say good start.
I'm right there with you. Good start. Not a must, but pretty solid as a third receiver. Odell Beckham, I mean, I know he wasn't at full health this past week, but it's kind of all or nothing with him. To me, he's kind of a flyer, so he's a maybe if you need him, kind of a flex play.
Yeah, I agree. Like a flex play with upside.
Well said. All right, now Terry McLaurin is a different story. I'm going to go ahead and say I love him this week, even though on paper it might not look like it's the best matchup for him. I'll explain more in one of our other videos if you check it out, but you feel the same way about McLaurin?
Yep, I love him in this matchup. Must start.
Hunter Renfrow has been coming on lately, still keeping it going. Can he do it against the Chiefs?
I mean, I hope so. He should. There is some talk that Darren Waller could be back this week, which might hurt him a little bit, but I don't think it matters. I think you got to start him.
He was feasting even before Waller got hurt. It was only 1 week, so I have Renfrow as a locked-in must-start in PPR leagues. All right, I'm going to take the L, at least semi-L, maybe half an L, on Chase Claypool. Thought he would have a big game last week. Didn't materialize. Going against Minnesota, though, I talked about how bad the secondary has been, and this seems like a great matchup. How do you feel about Claypool?
I'm going to say borderline must start. This secondary is terrible. I mean, look what the Lions did with the passing game this past week. So I'm going to say must start for Chase Claypool.
Yeah, I hate to get burned twice, but I'm going to say you got to take a chance on Claypool. I mean, the matchup almost begs you to start him. He's always one play away from making your day in fantasy, so I'll say you need to start him. Brandon Ayuk, he's my guy. I'm going to say yes. Didn't have a monster game last week either, but I think they're going to have to keep passing to him, especially as long as Debo's out. So is that a yes for you too?
Not a must start. I mean, he's an okay start. The problem is his role didn't really change. It was George Kittle who saw the big bump with Debo out, so he's an okay start, but not a must start for me.
All right, now, guy who you'd think would be a must start, but DK Metcalf had been disappointing. We saw signs of life this past week. Not a huge breakout game, but do you think it's going to happen? It's Houston this week. Is this the week?
This is the week. Must start. Russ barely missed him on a touchdown pass and then missed him again on another deep pass. So could have been a huge DK Metcalf week. It's Houston. Got to start him.
I agree. I think this is the week. Tyler Lockett. Why not? I mean, it's Houston, right? If DK can have a big week, so can Lockett.
Yeah, and Lockett's been having big weeks anyway, so yeah, he's a must-start as well.
All right, now Carolina and Atlanta might not be the high-scoring game of the week, but there are some fantasy-relevant receivers. Let's talk about Russell Gage, who blew up career high last week with 130 yards. Is it going to be the same situation against Carolina?
I mean, it's not a great matchup. Carolina's secondary very good. Stephon Gilmore fully healthy. But he looks like the guy. Like we talked about it in the running back video, Patterson isn't running routes anymore. He's not acting as a wide receiver. Gage is the guy. So I'm not going to say must start because of the matchup, but I think he's a very good start.
Yeah, I do worry this game will be much lower scoring because Carolina's going to try to play it slow, run the ball more, which is what Matt Rule wants to do. Gage isn't going to have nearly the same amount of volume, but he's still an okay start in PPR leagues because he's finally getting targeted a lot. And then on the flip side, DJ Moore, is he kind of one of those wide receiver 2-3 set and forgets?
Yeah, I think of this week you have to start him. I mean, it's the Falcons. Every team that plays the Falcons has a great game, so I got to start DJ Moore. Must start for me.
You said it. It's the Falcons. He's their top receiver. You got to start DJ Moore. Jarvis Landry, I don't know if you call him a must start ever. I do like him this week against Baltimore. I'm probably going to be irrationally high on him in my rankings, so I'm going to go ahead and say yes for a lot of reasons, which I'll explain in our boom video.
Yeah, I can't have him as a must start, but man, that Ravens secondary is decimated. They just lost Marlon Humphrey for the year, already lost Marcus Peters for the year, so I'm going to say good start.
Amon-Ra St. Brown came alive last week, caught the game-winning touchdown, and had a huge fantasy day, believe it or not. Can he keep it going, though? This time going against Denver, definitely a tougher matchup.
I'm going to say no. It's Denver. Great defense. Look what they did to the Chiefs on Sunday night. So I'm going to say must sit. Don't chase the points with Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Yeah, a risky start, maybe in a PPR league where you start, 3 receivers and multiple flex, but not a great start. All right, DeAndre Hopkins came back strong. But didn't have it as our no-brainer regardless of the matchup. Is he not in must-start territory anymore?
I don't think so because he's not getting the target share that we're used to with DeAndre Hopkins. I mean, only 2 targets last week. Yeah, granted, Murray only threw the ball 15 times. But what is that, a 10% target share, a 12% target share? We need 25 to 30% target share for DeAndre Hopkins. And he's going up against the Rams and Jalen Ramsey. I know he's a great receiver. Not going to say he's a must sit, but I can't call him a must start either. I think he's an okay start.
Yeah, I mean, this offense is a lot more balanced, which is great for them. It's why they're winning, but it's not great for fantasy if you have one of these guys. So I'm not scared away by the matchup, though. I know Jalen Ramsey is really good, but we've seen Hopkins have big games against really top corners. So I'm going to say, yes, you have to start him. I just don't expect him to be a top 10 receiver. Christian Kirk, I can easily say no, just like I can say no to every other Cardinals receiver.
Yeah, I agree. You can sit him this week against the Rams.
All right, there you have it. I'm sure you guys have plenty more questions. A lot of receivers still in play for fantasy teams. There's a lot of ways that we can help you win besides our must-start boom bust videos. We also have a live show Saturday night that you can join us for to ask all your questions. Check out the info in the description below for more information on how we can help you. All right, that does it for this edition, week 14. Good luck, guys.